I thought I was eating healthy. 3 meals a day, plenty of fruits and vegetables, even a daily walk. But still I was feeling weaker. My muscles were shrinking, my energy was dipping, and I couldn't understand why. Then, one small conversation with my doctor changed everything. He said just one sentence that shocked me. "You're not getting enough protein for your age." That one sentence completely changed how I eat, how I feel, and even how I age. If you're over 60, please hear me out, because what I'm about to share might just save your strength, your mobility, and your independent my wake-up call. Discovering the truth about protein and old age, never thought protein was something I needed to worry about. At my age over 70, I was more focused on my blood pressure, staying active, keeping my sugar in check, and trying not to forget why I walked into a room. Like most people in my generation, I thought protein was for young men lifting weights at the gym or athletes pounding down protein shakes to bulk up. Me, I had my eggs in the morning, a little chicken at dinner, and thought I was doing just fine. But I wasn't, and I didn't realize how badly I was slipping until it hit me. The slow decline, I didn't notice it, started subtly. I began to feel weaker. I couldn't open jars as easily as I used to. Walking up the stairs felt heavier. My clothes were looser, not because I was losing fat, but because I was losing muscle. There were small signs. I started needing to hold the railing more. Often, I'd get up from a chair and wobble slightly. Carrying grocery bags felt like dragging bricks. I even started noticing a few more bruises on my arms and legs, likely from small bumps I never used to feel. I chalked it up to aging. It's normal, I told myself. Everyone slows down. But inside, I knew something was off. I was eating clean. I was walking daily. I was trying to stay on top of my health. So why was I still declining? A conversation that changed everything. Then came a routine checkup with my doctor. Blood pressure? Good. Heart? Good. But when he asked how I was feeling, I told him honestly, a bit slower, weaker, I guess. He looked me over and asked a question I didn't expect. How much protein do you eat in a day? I blinked. Well, I have an egg for breakfast. Sometimes a little chicken at dinner. I don't really eat much red meat anymore. He smiled gently and said something that shook me. You're not eating enough protein for your age. In fact, most seniors don't. And that's one of the biggest causes of muscle loss, weakness, and even falls. That moment was a turning point. All those little signs I had been ignoring: my declining strength, slower healing, mood dips, they were likely tied to something I never considered. Chronic protein deficiency in old age. Why protein needs go up after 16 at down, as he explained. When we age, our bodies process protein less efficiently. That means we need more protein, not less, to maintain the same muscle, bone strength, and immune function we had in our younger years. But here's the catch. As we get older, we often eat less protein. Our appetites change. We might avoid meat due to chewing problems, or we fear it'll worsen our cholesterol or kidneys. But this leads to something called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. It's deadly serious. Studies show that muscle loss in seniors isn't just about strength, it's tied to greater risk of falls and fractures, longer hospital stays, slower recovery from illness, weaker immunity, increased mortality. Had been walking toward that path unknowingly. I looked back at my meals and got scared. That night, after the appointment, I came home and actually wrote down what I ate in a typical day. It looked like this. Breakfast: 1 egg, toast, tea. Lunch: vegetable soup, crackers, maybe a small salad. Dinner: a few bites of chicken or lentils, some rice, maybe a fruit. When I added it all up, I was getting about 30 to 40 grams of protein a day. For someone over 70, I should have been aiming for at least 60 to 75 grams, and even more if I wanted to rebuild lost muscle. That night, I realized I wasn't fueling my body. I was starving my muscles, but I thought I ate healthy. A common senior mistake. This is the part that really hit me. I thought I was eating healthy because I avoided junk food, ate vegetables, and didn't overeat. But the truth is, healthy doesn't mean strong. Many seniors think that by eating light and clean, they're doing the right thing. But if you're not getting enough protein, your body is slowly wasting away muscle even, if you're not bedridden. And the worst part? You can't see it happening. It's silent, gradual. Until one day, a small trip turns into a big fall. Or you lose 5 pounds of muscle and can't lift your grocery bag anymore. That realization terrified me. The decision that changed everything. I made a decision that week. I was going to increase my protein intake, no matter what. I didn't do it with protein powders or expensive supplements. I did it by simply changing the way I built my meals. I started reading labels. I started prioritizing protein first, then building the rest of the meal around it. And most importantly, I stopped thinking of protein as a young person's nutrient. No, it was my nutrient, my medicine. And let me tell you, the results were nothing short of shocking. But before I share what happened to my body after making that change, which I will in Section 4, I want you to understand something deeply. If you're over 60, protein is not optionally, it's essential. It's the difference between living independently and relying on others. It's the line between a fall that hurts and a fall that breaks. It's what keeps your body and mind functioning at their best. I wish I had known this 10 years ago. But I'm grateful I know it now. And I'm grateful I can share it with you. Because no one told me how dangerous low protein can be at this age. Maybe no one told you either, but now you know. And once you know, you can't ignore it. The silent effects of protein deficiency in seniors. After that appointment with my doctor, I couldn't stop thinking about what he said. You're not getting enough protein. At first, it didn't make sense. I wasn't starving. I ate 3 meals a day. I didn't feel sick. But as I started to reflect more deeply, I began to notice the signs that had been there all along, quiet, creeping, and dangerously ignored. Let me tell you what I discovered. It doesn't hit all at once, but it hits hard when you're younger. A poor diet might give you a stomachache or a sluggish day. But when you're over 60 or 70, even small nutritional deficiencies add up over time, and protein is one of the most dangerous to ignore. Unlike a vitamin deficiency that might show up in blood work, low protein levels don't always throw red flags on tests until it's too late. The body adapts by stealing protein from your own muscles, tissues, and even your organs. You literally start breaking yourself down to survive. And I didn't even realize it was happening. The mind slips to not just the body. One of the first signs I experienced and brushed off was mental fog. I found myself pausing mid-sentence or struggling to recall words I used to know easily. I forgot where I left my keys more than usual, and I felt slower to process information now. Some might say, that's just aging. But after I increased my protein, my clarity returned. That's when I learned protein isn't just for muscles. It's critical for neurotransmitters in the brain, chemicals that regulate memory, focus, and even mood. Without enough protein, your brain literally can't operate at full capacity. Mood swings, depression, and irritability. Before I started adjusting my protein intake, I noticed another subtle change. I was more irritable and anxious. Little things that never bothered me before suddenly made me agitated. I felt low energy, but also strangely restless. At first, I blamed it on loneliness or just having a bad week. But I later read that protein plays a major role in producing serotonin and dopamine, the feel-good chemicals in our brains. Without the building blocks from protein, your brain doesn't produce enough of these, which can lead to mood swings, depression, anxiety, emotional fatigue. Wasn't just in my head. It was in my diet, or rather, what was missing from it. Muscle loss. The quiet thief, perhaps the most terrifying effect of protein deficiency, is sarcopenia-related muscle loss. And here's what makes it so dangerous. It happens even if you're not sick, even if you're not bedridden. It happens slowly, quietly, and then suddenly you can't get up from the floor. Without help, I thought I was just getting older when I couldn't open jars, had trouble bending to pick things up, or felt tired lifting my grocery bags. But these are early signs that my muscles were wasting away, even if you're eating plenty of calories. If those calories aren't protein-rich, your body breaks down muscle for fuel. That leads to weaker legs, harder to walk, easier to fall, loss of grip strength, harder to carry or open things. Poor posture, back and core muscles fading, slower healing, tissue repair. Needs protein. It's not an exaggeration to say that protein is your muscle insurance. Without it, you're headed toward frailty. Falling. The ultimate danger. A fall is not just a fall. When you're in your 70s or 80s, it can mean a broken hip, surgery, months in bed, permanent loss of independence, even death. And you know what's behind many of those falls? Weak muscles and poor balance caused by chronic protein deficiency. That realization hit me hard. If eating a bit more chicken, fish, or beans each day could help me avoid becoming bedridden or worse, I was willing to make that change instantly. Poor sleep and slower healing. Another thing I learned and lived: when you're low on protein, your immune system suffers. I was catching colds more often, taking longer to recover, and even small bruises stuck around for weeks. Protein is needed to build immune cells, repair wounds, replace damaged tissue, heal bones and skin, and sleep. That's affected too. Protein contributes to melatonin and serotonin levels, which affect your sleep cycle. Before increasing my intake, I was tossing and turning every night. Now, I sleep deeper and wake up more refreshed. Bone health, not just about calcium. For decades, we've been told to drink milk for strong bones. But did you know bones are also made of protein? Without enough protein, your bones become more fragile, even if you're taking calcium supplements. That's why protein-rich foods like eggs, yogurt, tofu, lentils, and lean meats are just as important for osteoporosis prevention as your vitamin D pills. When I combine protein with light exercise and vitamin D, my bone density scan results actually improved. No drug, just food. A silent epidemic among seniors. Here's what's heartbreaking: millions of seniors are walking around with this problem, and they don't even know it. They're tired, achy, mentally foggy, depressed, and losing independence, and they think it's just old age. But for many, it's protein deficiency. And unlike aging, this problem is fixable. The fix doesn't have to be extreme either. No need to down shakes or eat steaks 3 times a day. It starts with small, consistent improvements, which I'll share in Section 3. But before we move forward, take a moment to reflect. If any of these sound familiar, feeling tired even after sleeping, getting weaker year after year, losing interest in food, trouble healing, foggy thinking, emotional ups and downs, trouble standing, walking, or lifting, then please don't dismiss it as just part of getting older. It may be your body crying out for something simple: protein. And the best part? Once I made the change, my life truly began to transform, from my energy to my confidence. But I didn't get there overnight. In the next section, I'll show you exactly what I started eating, how I made it affordable and enjoyable, and how you can do the same even if you don't cook much or have a big appetite. How I changed my diet: simple, high-protein additions that worked for me. Once I accepted that my body was quietly breaking down from years of low-protein intake, I knew I had to make a change. But like many people my age, I had a few hurdles. I didn't want to eat red meat every day. I wasn't a fan of complicated recipes. And honestly, I didn't want to spend hours in the kitchen. So I made myself a promise: I will only add what is simple. affordable, and realistic to maintain every day. And that promise led me to the best transformation of my senior years. Let me show you exactly how I increased my protein without shakes, supplements, or complicated diets. 1. Making breakfast my protein anchor for most of my life. I saw breakfast as light and easy, just toast, jam, or a banana. But that had almost no protein. So I flipped my thinking and started treating breakfast as a chance to refuel my body properly. Here are the changes. I made 2 boiled eggs or omelet, 12 grams protein instead of 1 egg. I started having 2. Sometimes I'd add onions, spinach, or cheese to make it tasty. Greek yogurt, 15 grams protein per cup. I swapped regular yogurt for Greek yogurt. It's creamy, delicious, and packs double the protein. Peanut butter on whole grain toast, 8 grams protein, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter on toast gave me long-lasting energy and extra protein. Cottage cheese with fruit, 12 grams protein per 1/2 cup on some days. I'd mix cottage cheese with a few berries or a slice of peach. These simple additions helped me start my day with 25 to 30 grams of protein, setting the foundation for everything else too. Boosting my lunch without overeating. At my age, I don't have a big appetite in the afternoon, but I learned how to make small meals rich in protein without being heavy. Some of my favorite combinations: lentil soup plus egg. Just 1 boiled egg added to a bowl of hearty lentil soup gave me 12 extra grams. Tuna salad wrap, 20 grams protein canned tuna with a little mayo, chopped celery, and lettuce inside a whole wheat wrap. Chickpeas plus veggie bowl, 15 grams protein. A simple bowl of chickpeas, chopped vegetables, and olive oil. Easy to make and digest. Leftover chicken or tofu with rice, 15 to 20 grams. I started saving leftovers from dinner and reheating them with brown rice or quinoa. What I discovered is that plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, and peas are not only affordable but easy to keep on hand. 3. Turning dinner into a muscle-rebuilding meal. Dinner was where I started to make smarter swaps. I didn't need to eat more food. I just needed better food. Here's what I changed. Grilled chicken or fish. 20 to 30 grams protein. I made sure my main dish always included a good portion of lean protein. Even a palm-sized piece of chicken gives 25 grams. Steamed tofu or paneer stir-fry, 15 to 20 grams protein. I tried tofu for the first time in my 70s. I liked it. Soft, easy to chew, and soaks up flavors beautifully. Egg curry or baked eggs, 12 grams plus per serving. Sometimes I'd make a simple egg curry with boiled eggs and spices. It felt like comfort food. Lentils with rice and ghee, 12 to 15 grams protein. Dal chawal, lentils with rice, became a powerful dinner when I added a spoon of ghee and some shredded chicken or tofu. My rule became to always include 1 protein-rich food. At dinner, no excuses. 4 protein-boosted snacks that actually help. Snacks were another opportunity I was missing. Instead of cookies or crackers, I started adding snacks with protein. Roasted chickpeas or almonds, 6 to 8 grams protein, crunchy, satisfying, and easy to keep in a jar. Boiled egg takes only 7 minutes and packs in 6 grams. Glass of milk or soy milk, 8 grams protein. I started enjoying a glass of warm milk before bed. It also helped me sleep better. Hummus with carrot sticks. Hummus is made from chickpeas and tahini, full of protein and fiber. 1 surprising snack: a slice of cheese with an apple. It satisfied my cravings and added 6 grams protein instantly. 5. Spreading it across the days. Something my doctor told me really stuck. The body absorbs protein better when it's spread throughout the day, not all at once. So instead of having 1 high-protein meal, I made sure to get 15 to 25 grams of protein at each meal. This helped my body rebuild muscle, repair tissues, stay energized, longer, balance blood sugar, improve my mood. I started sleeping better, walking faster, and feeling more alert within just a few weeks. 6. Keeping it simple so I don't quit. I am not someone who likes complicated recipes. So I followed 3 simple principles. 1 protein source in every meal. Use what's already in my kitchen. Prep in bulk when possible. Boiling eggs for 3 days. Cooking lentils in batches. Marinating chicken to use later. These tricks made life easier. I didn't need a fancy meal plan, just intentional food choices. 7. The mental trick that helped me stay consistent. One day, I put a sticky note on my fridge that read, "Every bite is building me stronger." It reminded me that food is not just about taste, it's fuel, and protein is the foundation of strength. That mindset shift helped me stay consistent when I didn't feel like cooking or eating. Sample high-protein day from my real life here. What a full day looks like now. Breakfast, 2 boiled eggs, Greek yogurt. Tea gives 28 grams protein. Snack. Roasted almonds and milk gives 12 grams protein. Lunch, tuna salad wrap. Side of lentils gives 25 grams protein. Snack. Hummus with cucumbers gives 6 grams protein. Dinner. Grilled chicken. Quinoa steamed veggies gives 30 grams protein total, approximately 100 grams protein. More than enough to maintain and rebuild muscle at my age. The results I felt within weeks, within a month. I noticed real changes. I had more energy throughout the day. My grip strength improved. Walking felt lighter. I could carry groceries without resting. My mood was more stable, and I started sleeping deeper. All of this from simply eating better protein. No pills, no crazy diets, no gym, just respecting what my body needed all along. The benefits I gained in just 30 days. A life rebuilt with protein. I never expected such big changes from something as simple as adjusting my diet. After all, I wasn't trying to lose weight or become a bodybuilder. I just wanted to feel like myself again. But the truth is, within just 30 days of increasing my protein, my life began to shift in ways I hadn't felt in decades. I had underestimated just how important protein is in old age. And now I'm living proof of what happens when you finally give your body what it's been missing. Here's how my life started to transform, one day at a time. 1. My strength started coming back. Before I made these changes, I used to feel weak just walking up a flight of stairs. Even picking up groceries felt like a chore. My arms were thin, my legs felt heavy, and I assumed that's just how aging worked. But by the end of the first week of eating more protein, I noticed my grip strength improving. My arms felt less shaky when I lifted things. I could get out of a chair without using both hands by the end of week 4. I was doing small exercises, again things I hadn't done in years, like wall push-ups and short walks without getting winded. I wasn't turning into a superhero, but I was finally rebuilding what age had quietly stolen. 2. I could think clearer and remember more. Something unexpected happened during my protein journey. My mind sharpened. I didn't realize how foggy I had been feeling until the fog started lifting. I'd walk into a room and actually remember why I went in. I didn't struggle to find words during conversations. I even started reading books again because I could concentrate longer. Here's why this happened. Protein provides amino acids, which your brain needs to produce neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals help with focus, mood, and memory. As we age, we absorb protein less efficiently, so the brain often runs low on the raw materials it needs to stay sharp. After a few weeks of proper intake, I noticed a real change in my mental clarity and motivation. I felt more like me again. 3. My sleep became deeper and more restful. One of the first things I noticed after increasing protein was how much better I slept. I used to wake up 3 to 4 times a night, sometimes from hunger, sometimes from discomfort in my legs or back. But after just 2 weeks of adding protein-rich meals, my nights started to look different. I'd fall asleep faster, I'd stay asleep longer I'd wake up feeling more rested. What I discovered later is that protein helps regulate blood sugar and supports the production of melatonin and serotonin, which are both crucial for healthy sleep cycles. A warm glass of milk before bed became my new best friend, and I began to look forward to sleeping rather than fearing it. For my blood work improved around the 5-week mark. I had a regular checkup. When the results came in, my doctor actually raised an eyebrow. Here's what improved. My muscle mass increased slightly, my inflammation markers dropped, my blood sugar levels became more stable, my albumin levels, a key protein marker, rose to a healthy range, he said. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Oh, so you go. I see. That was the confirmation I needed. I was on the right track, not just feeling better, but actually healing from the inside out. 5. I stood taller and moved easier one day. I caught a glimpse of myself in a store window. Something was different. I was standing straighter. This one surprised me. I hadn't done any yoga or posture training, but it turns out, when your muscles get stronger, your body naturally supports itself better. I wasn't slouching as much. My back felt more stable. My neck wasn't drooping forward. Even my balance improved, making me feel safer walking outdoors. I realized then, protein isn't just about muscle. It's about the scaffolding that holds your entire body together. 6. My mood lifted and my motivation returned. For a long time, I'd been feeling down, not quite depressed, but just flat. Some days I didn't feel like doing much. Everything felt like a task. I chalked it up to aging. But with better nutrition came better emotional health. I started smiling more, even to myself. I found myself looking forward to small things: a walk, a book, a chat with family. I had energy in the afternoons. When I used to crash, science backs this up. Certain amino acids from protein boost serotonin, the feel-good hormone. And with more serotonin, everything from daily chores to socializing becomes easier and more enjoyable. 7. I became an example for others after seeing the difference in me. A few of my friends started asking questions. What have you been eating lately? How come you're walking so fast these days? Did you do something new with your routine? When I told them it was just protein, real, whole food protein, they were shocked. It inspired some of them to try it themselves. And soon, we were swapping recipes, sharing meal ideas, supporting each other. This journey became more than just personal. It became a reason to connect and uplift others around me. The timeline of change, what to expect in 30 days here. As a breakdown of the real changes I felt week by week. Week 1, slight increase in energy, less hunger between meals, better mood by evening. Week 2, more restful sleep, better digestion. Slightly firmer muscles and arms, legs. Week 3, noticeable strength improvement, faster walking pace, improved focus and clarity. Week 4, sharper memory and recall, more social engagement, steadier balance and posture. These weren't miracles. They were natural reactions to finally feeding my body what it needed most. Why I'll never go back? This isn't a diet. It's not a phase. It's a way of life now. I've learned that protein is essential to staying strong, independent, and mentally sharp in your senior years. And once you feel the difference, you'll never want to go back. You don't have to eat steak every night. You don't need supplements unless your doctor recommends them. All you need is awareness and a commitment to choosing protein-rich foods every day. The shocking reasons seniors need more protein, Section 5. Why doctors were right and why seniors like us can't ignore protein anymore. Word count 1,000. I used to think doctors were just being cautious when they talked about getting more protein. I assumed it was one of those general health tips, like drink more water or take a daily walk. But now, standing on the other side of this experience, I see just how right they were, and how dangerous it is for seniors like us to ignore this simple, powerful truth. If you're over 60, 70, or even 80, The role of protein in your health isn't optional, it's critical. And today, I want to share not just why I believe this, but why the medical community has been sounding this alarm for years. 1. The science is clear. Muscle loss is real. Every single one of us begins losing muscle after age 30. It's slow at first, but by the time we hit 60 or 70, the loss becomes rapid. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it doesn't just make you weaker, it increases your risk of falls, fractures, hospitalizations, and even death. Most people think, well, I'm not going to the gym anyway, so they let it slide. But here's the truth. Muscles aren't just for lifting weights. They're essential for walking, standing up from a chair, balancing on steps, breathing efficiently, even digesting food. Doctors recommend that seniors double down on protein, precisely because muscle loss is preventable and, in many cases, reversible with proper nutrition and mild resistance activity. 2. The risks of low protein are greater than you think. For a long time, I thought too much protein might harm my kidneys, or that it wasn't suitable for older people. But current research has debunked that myth. Let you have severe kidney disease, your body actually needs more protein as you age, not less. Low protein intake has been linked to weakened immune system, delayed healing from injuries or surgeries, loss of independence due to poor strength, increased risk of hospitalization and death in people over 70. That last one stopped me in my tracks. A 2020 study found that low protein intake in seniors led to significantly higher mortality rates, regardless of other factors. Doctors aren't warning us about protein for fun. They're trying to save our lives. 3. We can't absorb protein like we used to. This was the biggest aha moment for me. As we get older, our bodies don't process nutrients as efficiently, and protein is one of the hardest to absorb. That means if I eat the same piece of chicken at 70 that I did at 40, my body gets less benefit from it now. Doctors call this anabolic resistance, and it means we need more protein per pound of body weight than younger adults to maintain the same function. This isn't about eating more food, it's about making smarter food choices. Here's how I changed. I stopped skipping breakfast and added eggs, Greek yogurt, or a small protein shake at lunch. I started including beans, lentils, or tuna at dinner. I prioritized chicken, fish, or paneer over just rice or bread. I added nuts and seeds as snacks instead of sugary biscuits. That small shift meant my body had fuel to build, repair, and sustain itself all day long. 4. Doctors want us to stay independent. There is a quiet truth that many physicians carry. They don't just want to treat illness, they want to keep us out of hospitals altogether. And one of the best ways to avoid hospital stays, surgery, or rehab centers in old age is to stay strong, nourished, and mobile. That all comes back to protein, in fact. The American Society for Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition (ASPEN) now recommends higher daily protein targets for older adults. 1.2 to 2.0 grams per kilogram of body weight, especially for those recovering from illness, injury, or surgery. That's nearly double what the average senior consumes. If your doctor hasn't already talked to you about your protein intake, bring it up. Get your blood work done. Track how much protein you're really getting and be honest. When I did that, I realized I was barely getting half of what I needed. No wonder I was weak, tired, and moody. 5. I thought I was too old to change. I wasn't there. The part I hope everyone watching truly hears. It is never too late to make your body stronger. I was nearly 72 when I started this protein journey. I didn't know how much I could really change at my age. But the truth is, your body doesn't stop responding, it just needs the right tools. When I fed it properly, my body healed, my brain cleared, my sleep deepened. My motivation returned and I began to feel hopeful again. That's the most priceless gift of all. No medication or therapy has ever made me feel as rejuvenated as this simple change in my plate. What I wish I knew sooner if I could go back and talk to my 60-year-old self. I'd say this: don't wait for a health scare to get serious about protein. Track your meals. You might be shocked how low your intake is. Don't fear meat, eggs, dairy, or legumes. They're your allies now. Ask your doctor about protein. They'll likely agree it's vital. Share this with your friends. They need it just as much as you. We've worked hard to reach this stage of life. The golden years aren't meant to be spent in weakness, pain, or confusion. They should be vibrant, joyful, and filled with energy. And it turns out, a big part of that starts with protein. Final thoughts: your body is waiting. Know the internet is filled with trends and fads, but this isn't one of them. Protein is as old as life itself, and right now, your body is quietly waiting for you to give it the strength it needs. If you're tired of being tired, if you're afraid of becoming dependent, if you want to feel alive again, then take it from me. Start with protein. You'll thank yourself 30 days from now. You'll thank yourself 1 year from now. And maybe, just maybe, you'll add a decade of strength and joy to your journey.